This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're watching MaxspeedTV.
Good Monday evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of MaxspeedTV. Stephen Lane up here in the booth with the OP Premier League here on Monday night. Glad everybody can tune in. We are at Bumpy Road Daytona for 100 laps of, liver-jattering, jaw-dropping racing here with the OP guys. Having a little bit of SDK issues tonight. So bear with me here, folks, as we try to get all of this taken care of. But some of it's working, some of it's not. We will try to get things going. Looks like now that we are almost done with practice, about 3 minutes left, we will be getting into everything. Real quick, we're going to go ahead and jump right into our standings. Whoa, that was awful big. I didn't get a chance to get all of this worked out, so bear with me just a second here, folks. Let me resize everything and get where you guys can see what we got going on here with our points. As we can see, we've got guys that are, I didn't think it was going to be quite that bad, but here we go. Looking right now, we have two winners of our first two races. Jeff Crosby Jr. won last week. Brian Wang won week number 1. And Kenny Real right now sitting there in a third spot with Adam Kilday in 4th, Gabe Butler 5th, Zach Workman in 6th, Mark Mann 7th, Rick Sanchez in 8th, Nate Warren in 9th, Zach Fritz rounding out your top 10. Then over on the right side in 11th, Stephen Luttrell, Andy Brigante in 12th, Lynn McNeese in 13th, Richard Kuhn 14th, Steve Rada in 15th, and Peter DeBorja at the cutoff right now. If the playoffs were to start in that 16th spot, just over the bubble, is that number 6 of Bubba Whittingham, the 53 of Dave Hunt, Everett Lane there as well, and Hunter Reynolds rounding out your 20-car points right now. Of course, like I said, we kind of unprepared. I didn't get through what happened last week. And let me move our stage winner over. You guys are actually seeing what I have to do. But last week, your winner, Jeff Crosby Jr., in 2nd was Kenny Real. 3rd with Mark Mann, Lynn McNeese in 4th, and Brandon Pfeiffer in 5th. Of course, last week's was Stage 1 winner, Stephen Luttrell. Stage 2 was Zach Fritz. So, awesome job by those guys to get that done last week. So again, appreciate everybody tuning in as we get ready to go for qualifying. We'll get our ticker back on. We're about 45 seconds away. We are going to go ahead and get our weather up here. 4-mile-an-hour wind, a 65-degree air temperature. It's a partly cloudy day here at Daytona with a 72-degree track temperature. I've got to give a shout-out to my good friend, Mr. Dustin Logston. We were trying to figure out what's going on, but it looks like everything is going to be up and running as we start winding down our practice here. Going to get into qualifying, so we will get that going here in just a minute. Again, hadn't seen him out here just yet. But while we got a little time, we're going to go ahead. These guys are going to be starting qualifying here in just a second. We'll go ahead and get our qualifying up here, as these guys will have 1 lap of qualifying. It's actually 2 laps. 1 lap will be their warm-up lap, and then they'll have their actual qualified lap. But I wanted to kind of go over our teams for Monday night. This is a team league. We got the team Nerd Esports. That is Steve Raba, Jeff Crosby Sr., Peter DeBorja, Richard Kuhn, and Dustin Logston. Then the Checker Flag Motorsports, Guy Bubba Winningham, David Overstreet, Dave Hunt, Les Levy, and Lynn McNeese. Then we go to Team Bootknockers Esports. That is Dude Conrad, the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds, the 26 of Hunter Reynolds, the 071 of Mr. Eric Laurie, and the 88 of Gabe Butler. The Team Wicked is consisted of Eddie Brigante, Andrew Schroeder, John Guerrera, Doug Johnson, and Alex Giffen. FSR, that is Fuel Sim Racing. That is the 12 of Zach Fritsch, the 16 of Nate Warren, the 19 is Zach Workman, the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr., and the 71 of Sean McCara. For Team Vendetta Motorsports, the 3 of Alex Green, the 04 of Mark Mann, the 5 of Rick Sanchez, the 85 of Adam Kilday, the 4 of Rick Seabrands, the 44 of Anthony English, and the 95 of James Mayer. And you'll notice the little P by their names. That means they are part-time drivers. Team No Presta, NPE, that is Josh Ball, Kenny Real, Vicente Guerrero, Stephen Luttrell, Adam Schramm, and our part-timers for Team No Presta is going to be the 40 of Stephen Miles and the 54 of Brandon Pfeiffer. And then last but not least, we have the Dale Cup team. We actually have another team. I just don't have any graphics yet. But Dale Cup team here is going to be the 05 of Nick Wang, the 027 of Steve Corsick, the 25 Kevin Freeze as a part-timer, and the 32 of Sebastian Marin as a part-timer as well. But we have one more team that is consisted of one driver right now, and that is a Fast Lane Racing, and that will be the number 24 of Everett Lane. Qualifying times are starting to come in. Eric Laurie right now with the fastest lap time of a 51.116. I need to put that up here. It's not showing. There we go. Eric Laurie in the top spot with the 51.117. Josh Ball currently in second with the 51.19. Adam Kilday also with a 51.19. Dustin Logston with the 51.20. Dude Conrad coming in with the 51.20. We are down to the milliseconds as Jeff Crosby Jr. with those in the same time. It's actually showing a 51.16. But right now, Rick Sanchez in 7th, Richard Kuhn in 8th, Hunter Reynolds 9th, Bubba Winningham just got knocked out of the 10th spot by Peter DeBorja. But Bubba Winningham dropping to 11th, Sean McCarr 12th, Les Levy in 13th, Alex Green 14th, Adam Strom 15th, and Nate Warren 16th, Andy Brigante in 17th, Dave Hunt 18th, Zach Fritsch 19th, Jimmy Reynolds 20th. Everett Lane dropping a good lap down with the 51.18. That's good enough for third place right now. We still have cars out here qualifying. That's going to be Vicente Guerrero, Gabe Butler. That is the only two right now. Stephen Luttrell finished out his lap in 27th at the 51.29. Belva out there in chat. Hi, Belva. How are you doing? Glad everybody can tune in. Again, I apologize for the little bit of a late start. Again, we were trying to get some stuff figured out. But Vicente Guerrero taking over that top spot with a 51.13. Gabe Butler in second. So Vicente Guerrero right now is going to be your pole sitter. Well, let's see if we can't get Mr. Vicente at No Presta and get him up here. Well, come on, mouse work for me. Vicente Guerrero, no presta, out there.
A whole lot of no presta.
Got that top spot, man. Awesome lap, dude. I mean, it was close, but you were able to pull it out. Man, Bumpy Road Daytona, not my favorite track, but I know you guys, some of you guys love this track. What are you going to have to do to secure that victory tonight?
Stay out of trouble, be up front, and have some good luck.
You're going to need it. There's a stacked field tonight, 36 cars out here. Buddy, good luck. You guys are gridding up, and we will hopefully see you at the end of the race.
Thank you.
Well, put him back down there in his team. Well, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get to our starting grid here on MaxspeedTV, if I could get it pulled up. Here we go. Vicente Guerrero, no Presta Esports on row 1 on the inside pole. To his outside is the 88 of Gabe Butler. Row number 2, Eric Laurie in the 071 on the inside. To his outside, the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr. Starting row number 3, John Guerrero in that 59 machine. On his outside is the 24 of Everett Lane. In row number 4 on the inside, the number 1 of Josh Ball. To his outside is the 85 of Adam Kilday. Or starting row number 5, Dustin Logston in the 81 machine on the inside. To his outside will be the Mr. Dude Conrad in the 8 machine. Row number 6 on the inside, the 5 of Rick Sanchez. His outside will be the 47 of Richard Coon. Starting row number 7 on the inside, the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. His outside will be that 42 machine of Peter DeBorja. Starting row number 8, the 19 of Zach Workman. His outside will be the number 6 of Bubba Winningham. Row number 9 on the inside, the 71 of Sean McCarr. His outside, the one, the only, the 62 of Mr. Les Levy. Row number 10 on the inside will be the number 3 of Alex Green. His outside will be the 87 of Adam Schramm. Row number 11 inside will be the 16 of Nate Warren. His outside will be the 13 of Andy Brigante. Row number 12 inside, Dave Hunt in that 53 machine. His outside will be the number 12 of Zach Fritz. Row number 13 inside will be the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds. His outside will be the 15 of Jeff Crosby Sr. Row number 14 inside is Stephen Luttrell, the 36 machine. His outside, the 03 of Steve Rada. Row number 15, I should say, will be the 27 of Sean Stevens. His outside will be the 46 of David Overstreet. Row number 16, the 04 of Mark Mann. His outside will be the 48 of Andrew Schroeder. Then on row 17, the 84 of Lynn McNeese. To his outside will be the 83 of Doug Johnson. It will not let me get the last two cars, but last car, but that is the 027 of Stephen Korosik and the 05 of Brian Wang. Well, here we go, folks, getting ready to start. The pace truck will dive off down to the safety of pit road. As we can see, the flag man does have the flag in his hand. As we get ready to get going, he will beat that flag like it owes him money. Green flag, folks, here we go. Boogity, 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 racing here at Daytona. Great jump, great start by these guys. So far, so good. That first pack of Vicente Guerrero, the 88 of Gabe Butler on the outside. The 071 of Eric Laurie, the 59 of John Guerrero, and the 1 of Josh Ball, the 81 of Dustin Logston on the inside with Rick Sanchez. Gonna have some pretty cool camera angles here, folks, with our drone cam. John Black out there tuning in. Hey, John, how you doing? Good to see you guys all out there chatting it up tonight. So far, so good. These guys are doing well with this Bumpy Daytona track. Again, I am not a big fan of this track, never have been. I probably need to get out here and run some more laps. These guys make it around the corner here up turns 1 and 2, coming to the back stretch. Now we're coming into turns 3 and 4, side-by-side racing, all the way back through the field. We'll get our driver bar on here, see if it will work. We're on Sean McCara at this time. Like I said, so far so good. Coming back through the field, just side-by-side racing all the way back to about David Overstreet. Sean Stevens or Andy Brigante. Sean Stevens is going to be that first truck in the single file line. Stephen Luttrell, Andy Brigante, David Overstreet, Mark Mann, Lynn McNeese, Andrew Schroeder, and the 83 of Doug Johnson. Back up towards the front though, Vicente Guerrero still out front battling with Gabe Butler to his outside. Sorry about that, folks. I was had a message real quick. We get back to the action. Right now, Vicente Guerrero going to lead another lap. Come to the start-finish line. Going up a little high, getting the people out of sort behind him with the 50 down to John Guerrero as Gabe Butler drops it down to the inside line. That leaves Jeff Crosby Jr. out there on the outside with that 24 machine of Everett Lane. They come into turn number 2 here. I believe it's 2, maybe 3 and 4 as we come through. Yep, they're coming down the tri-oval right now. We're going to go ahead and let's go on board with Vicente Guerrero. We see 191 mile an hour right now, 190 in the corners. You could just see how rough this track is. Bouncing these trucks all over the place. Vicente is right on that bumper. Now here is a view that I've been working on with our cameras. It's called the roof view. We're looking right over the top of Vicente, right at the back of Gabe Butler. We're going to go over here, Everett Lane right now, right there with Jeff Crosby Jr. That middle line almost seems like it's the smoother line as they're not really getting bounced around all that much. As I say that, Everett starts to kind of bounce up to the high side, but now we are 3 wide. Let's get back out here, folks, so we can see. That is the 42 of Peter DeBorja. Was out there with the help of Zach Wardman, but Zach drops it down into that second lane as the 8 of Duke Conrad. Looks like Peter's going to slide it right down behind the 19 of Burton. Good Lord, I need to turn that down a little bit, guys. I do apologize about that. We're going to turn that volume down just a little bit. That just about blew my eardrums out. Well, that 3 wide didn't last very long. So we get back up here to the leaders. Kind of looking back through here. There is the 62 of Mr. Les Levy on the outside with the 3 of Alex Green. They're trying to make their way back up towards that lead group. A little bit of 3 wide there. That was Bubba Winningham going up a little bit high. Adam Kilday trading spots. Now he is up here with Everett Lane, Zach Workman, Peter DeBorja on that high side. Jeff Crosby Jr. dropping it down to that low line in front of Gabe Butler. And then no Presta of Mr. Vicente Guerrero right there as well. Going to try to look back through here. We're single file from about the 87 machine there of Adam Strom. We show the last few laps of Adam, Mr. Adam Strom with a 47.244, then a 46, 47, 47, 47. So running some pretty consistent laps. As Adam's getting a good push there by that 36 of Stephen Luttrell. Back up to the front. Jeff Crosby Jr. still out front. Everett Lane to the outside. Does have the help of the 85 of Adam Kilday. Right there with him. We got a truck off pace back here. That is the 27 of Sean Stevens, kind of out from that outside by himself. Still holding his own, but without any help. Here comes the 87 on that outside, trying to get caught up with him. So you see if they can't get pushed up to that front. We have somebody bleaking out back here in the back. I believe that might have been the 48 of Andrew Schroeder being the coach 'em up 48 machine. And we've got green flag pit stops happening here, folks. Oh, it's not what I wanted to do, but we are going to go back live here. Jeff Crosby Jr. down pit road, Josh Ball, Sean McCara, Bubba Winningham, Nate Warren, Zach Fritsch, Stephen Luttrell, Vicente Guerrero, all down on pit road. Now coming off of, or some of them coming off of pit road. Jeff Crosby Jr. leading that group off of pit road. We're going to see what happens here. There comes Gabe Butler, Adam Kilday. Gabe Butler, that is Eric Laurie, Everett Lane, Rick Sanchez. That is the 3 of Alex Green. The 87, Adam Schraub, Jimmy Reynolds, Stephen Luttrell, Steve Rada, Mark Mann coming off of pit road. Right now, Zach Workman is your leader. Out here, 12 laps, going to make the pit stop. There comes the rest of them. Zach Workman coming in sideways. Oh, Dave Hunt getting turned around on pit road behind him. Not sure what happened there, but let's see if we can get a rewind on this. We're doing a live rewind while the green flag is still out. Looks like he just locked it up. Ooh, went to the inside. Didn't see anything that would cause him, other than him locking his brakes up. Back out to the leader zone. John Guerrera out front as he's coming down pit road, as well as Richard Kuhn. Andrew Schroeder, Andy Brigante, Sean Stevens. That is Lynn McNeese and the 83 of Doug Johnson. The last two holdouts, I believe, is going to be Jeff Crosby Sr. And I believe that is the 15. Okay, he is the last holdout, so he's going to be coming down pit road by himself. Did not pit with the rest of the crew. But here comes Adam Kilday. They're going to make up some ground on Jeff Crosby Sr. as we got trucks back here swapping back and forth. That was the old 27 to Steve Korsek. There are three of Alex Green, Brian Wang. Looks like Jimmy Reynolds, as well as the 81 of Dustin Logston. Jeff Crosby Jr. does have the lead, but he's battling it out with Adam Kilday. Let's get that up there so we can see the battle for first. We see these guys coming down the back stretch. Adam Kilday on the inside with Josh Ball, Gabe Butler, Rick Sanchez. We're three wide. That is the old 27 of Steve Korsek and the old 5 of Brian Wang. Ooh, the 3, that is the 0-3 of Steve Rada getting pushed up into the wall. Well, that puts Steve Larada a lap down, Stephen Luttrell a lap down, and Bubba Winningham a lap down. Steve Luttrell does have help. Doug Johnson still down on pit road as he now is coming off of pit road. Adam Kilday switching between that low line. Ooh, Adam blinking out a little bit. Adam Kilday switching between that low line and that middle line, but Jeff Crosby Jr. going to have the run with the 12 of Zach Fritsch. It is not enough to hold him off as Adam Kilday gets another lap led. Again, 17 viewers out there right now. Again, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Of course, if you're new to MaxspeedTV, please hit that subscribe button. Also hit that bell icon if you haven't already done it, or if you're a current subscriber. Let you know every time MaxspeedTV does go live. Looking back here, that 59 of John Guerrera getting a good run. Andrew Schroeder going up a little high, almost into the door of David Overstreet. So looks like we've got a couple of packs all kind of spread out. Mark Mann's back here is the 83. Lap traffic trying to stay out of the way. Mark's trying to catch up with that big group. That is going to be pretty much the rest of the field getting hooked up back together. Josh Ball and Adam Kilday battling out for the lead right now. 36 trucks on the track, folks. It's a pretty decent field for Monday night. Of course, this is the best of OP. Premier League, you have to have an invite to be able to race here. Excuse me, I had to get me a drink. My mouth's been kind of dry today. It's just been the weather and everything, as everybody's passing the 53 of Dave Hunt. So that's going to put Dave Hunt a lap down. Of course, they only get one fast repair, so if they have a lot of damage, they may have to use it. But if they only got a minute or two, you know, all it takes is one caution to get your lap back. We'll see what happens here, folks. We're not going to say that. So far, it's been good green flag racing. We are lap 21 of 100, so we should have our first stage somewhere around lap 26. Let's see here. As they come back to the start-finish line, Adam Kilday going to get another lap led, but he is battling out with Josh Ball. Kilday, that is Adam Kilday, Jeff Crosby Jr., Zach Fritch, the 26 of Hunter Reynolds on that outside line, Josh Ball, Gabe Butler, Rick Sanchez, and that is the 3 of Alex Green, the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds, and Nate Warren trying to get caught up to that group, get caught up to that 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Well, we're going to go back 3 wide. Hunter Reynolds is going to be leading that third line out on that outside with the 027 of Steve Corsick. That is looks like the 19 of Zach Workman. Ooh, big move by Hunter down to that inside. Going to get a shot by the 85 of Adam Kilday. Kind of left Brian Wang out there on that outside by himself. Oh, the one Josh Ball going down towards the apron. What a recovery, but then a big move, big wiggle by the 19 of Zach Workman. Right behind the 27 of Steve Corsick. Josh Ball did get control, get back up into that draft pack. He is right on the tail of the 3 of Alex Green. Now we're spinning. That was the 87 of Adam Shaw down hard to the inside wall. That's going to bring out our first caution. We're going to take a rewind here, folks. That was Adam Kilday. But as we see, that is the 87 of Adam Schramm going right down into that inside wall. And then simultaneously up ahead, as we get up here, we see Adam Kilday getting turned around. Just got hooked there, unfortunately, by Gabe Butler. Sent him up into Dustin Logston. Rick Sanchez looks like he got a piece of that as well. Eric Laurie down on the grass. Alex Green made it through as Adam Schramm did hit that inside wall with a lot of damage. As we are back live here, folks. Peter DeBorja will be your leader. Hunter Reynolds second. Zach Workman third. Mr. Les Levy in fourth. Nate Warren fifth. And Jeff Crosby Jr. in sixth. Steve Korsak in seventh. Brian Wang eighth. In ninth will be the 88 of Gabe Butler. Jimmy Reynolds in rounding out your top 10. Well, we're going to go ahead and step aside, folks. Play our commercial for Buttkicker. Hang tight. We'll be right back. All right, folks, we are back, and we're going to get our stage winner. It's going to be Mr. Jeff Crosby Jr. We'll try to get him up here real quick. Let's see, where is he at? There he is. We'll get him up there. Hey, Jeff, real quick, buddy. Congratulations. You did get that stage one. Was having some issues and then had to go to commercial. But just awesome job. Congratulations. What do you got to do to finish out strong?
Yeah, man. Just going to stay up front here, and we're going to keep pushing teammates. And we got lucky there to just swing by. We had a big run there. First was pushing, and it just all worked out. We're continuing to try to get stage points and push teammates. So we'll see what happens.
All right, brother. Good job. Congratulations, and we'll see you hopefully at the end of the race.
Heck yeah, man. See ya.
All right, buddy. All right, so we get him back down to his team room with the Fuel Sim Racing. Your stage one winner will be Mr. Jeff Crosby Jr. Well, the truck does dive down pretty aggressively down to pit road. Here we go. Green flag back out. Back racing for stage number 2. These guys are revving it up, hitting down through the tri-oval into turns 1 and 2. Zach Workman, Hunter Reynolds battling out right now up front. Nate Warren, Steve Korsak on the inside. On the outside, Jeff Crosby Jr., Brian Wang, and John Guerrera. Carolot, how are you? Welcome to the stream. I don't recognize the name, but glad you are here. guys round through, coming down through the tri-oval once again. Good battle up front between Hunter Reynolds and the 19 of Zach Workman. Hunter Reynolds looks like he will lead that lap as well. Looking at another drone view here as these guys coming down the back stretch. Zach Workman on the outside. Looks like you got Hunter Reynolds, Nate Warren, Steve Korosek on the inside. Nate getting that good push by the 33, or I'm sorry, Zach getting a push by the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr. Looks like Hunter Reynolds will lead another lap here. Going to be some good battling going on right now, folks. As Peter DeBorja looking out to that outside line. But he's by himself, and he's got a good run by himself. Now he does have some help out there with him. I believe that is the 24 of Everett Lane in front of him. Like I said, you can see the bumps just jarring those trucks around. Do not know how they control these trucks or any car on this track as bumpy it is. Oh, Nate Warren getting real loose there for just a second. Great recovery. We are 3 wide as Everett Lane, 42 of Peter DeBorja on that outside lane. Trying to get that third line going as Peter does scrape the wall a little bit there. Looking back here towards the back, the 13 of Andy Brigante, 87 of Adam Schramm. Adam trying to push Andy, but getting loose in the process. Gabe Butler right there with them on that outside. The 84 of Lynn McNeese down low. Looks like Doug Johnson coming back down pit road. Not sure what's going on with Doug, if he didn't pit on that caution or what, but he is back down pit road. Now we got Stephen Luttrell, Steve Rada, and Bubba Winningham all lapped down right now. At least one lap down. We'll keep an eye on the ticker as it rolls by, but getting back up to the front, that 3 wide, really not making much anything happen. But here comes Dustin Logston out to that outside line with them. Now get the 3 trucks together, they will start moving pretty good. I'm looking at the tickers that drive as it scrolls by. Stephen Luttrell is a lap down, Steve Rada's a lap down, Doug Johnson a lap down, Bubba Winningham 2 laps down. Back up here on the front, Dustin Logston, Everett Lane, Peter DeBorja on that 3rd lane. You got Jeff Crosby Jr., Brian Wayne, John Guerrera on that middle line with the 71 of Sean McCara. Then on the inside, Zach Workman, the 26 of Hunter Reynolds, the 16 of Nate Warren, the old 27 of Steve Korosek down on that inside line. Dustin was able to use the draft with Everett Lane and Peter DeBorja to get pushed out in front of Brian Wayne. Gets him dropped down that middle line. We are coming up on some lap traffic though. Not sure who that was. Looks like it may be Adam Kilday, Rick Sanchez, Andrew Schroeder by himself. Then back up here with Sean Stevens. Let me do this because I need to have that showing. Andrew Schroeder. 11, almost 12 seconds behind Sean Stevens. Sean is with the draft pack. Now back up to the front here. That is the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr. We got that is Doug Johnson trying to stay up on the high side to let that lead group get by him. '81 of Dustin Logston in that middle lane. Here comes Jeff Crosby Jr. with Zach Workman on that inside and Hunter Reynolds. Dustin Logston. That is the 5 of Brian Wang. The 59 of John Carrera and the 24 of Everett Lane on that second line. Lap 36 of 100. So far, so good. Only had that one caution, which ended the stage. Here comes Bubba Winningham trying to get caught up with that 47 of Richard Kuhn. Vicente Guerrero's got lap traffic around him. There is Les Levy, Alex Green, Eric Laurie. But here we go, some more green flag pit stops. Jeff Crosby Jr., Zach Workman, Nate Warren, Sean McCara, Hunter Reynolds, Jimmy Reynolds, Richard Kuhn, Alex Green, Mark Mann, Gabe Butler, Les Levy, Dude Conrad, Eric Laurie, all down on pit road right now. That's going to leave Dustin Logston out in the front there with Brian Wang, John Guerrero, Everett Lane, and Peter DeBorja. Steve Korosek out there as well. We're going to keep an eye and see if Dustin and them come down pit road this time. Here comes Brian Wang, Dustin Logston. Yep. John Guerrero coming down pit road. Peter DeBorja, Everett Lane, Josh Ball, Steve Korosek, Vicente Guerrero, and Zach Fritch, Adam Schramm, Andy Brigante, and Sean Stevens. Mr. Les Levy down on pit road is Jimmy Reynolds, Stephen Luttrell, and Steve Rada, all down on pit road as well. Jeff Crosby Sr. is going to be your leader right now. He's got David Overstreet, Dave Hunt, and Lynn McNeese right there with them. Okay, not sure what's going on out there in chat. I don't know who Madison in, and I don't know who looks kind of creepy, but anyway, back to the action here, folks. Looks like Dude Conrad still down on pit road. Here comes Mr. Les Levy coming down pit road as well. David Overstreet stays out. Jeff Crosby Sr. coming down. That is the 6 of Bubba Winningham coming down pit road as well. Keeping an eye on David Overstreet, Dave Hunt. And that should be Douglas Johnson right there with them as well. Going to keep an eye on those guys to see what they're going to do. These two guys, that's David Overstreet and Dave Hunt coming down pit road. Doug Johnson stayed out, but he did take a late pit stop. Back up here to Hunter Reynolds. He is going to be leading this group as the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr. dives down to the inside with the 27. for the 027 and Steve Corsick. Andrew Schroeder coming down pit road now. Jeff Crosby Jr. is going to lead this group out around the guys coming off the pit road. That is all right. Well, tell Grumpy Bear not to be so grumpy. Here we go, Nate Ward, your new leader. We are 3 wide, 3 rows deep, 26 of Hunter Reynolds, the 12 of Zach Fritch. Looks like that is the 24 of Everett Lane in that midline. Getting a little high there by the 14 of Zente Guerrero. But on the outside, the 71 of Sean McCara, the 42 of Peter DeBorja, the 59 of John Guerrero. We do have them spread out just a little bit. Going to see what this lap traffic does. They do drop it down. That is the 85 of Adam Kilday. Dropping it down to the apron. Let those guys get by. Dave Hunt still down on pit road. As the leaders come back through. Still 3 wide up here. Peter DeBorja on that outside with the 71 of Sean McCarthy. Not quite getting anything happening. As the 59 of John Guerrero is out there with them. Just not really getting that third lane to go. I believe that is the... That is the 8 of Dude Conrad going down to the apron. Let those guys get by him. Nate Warren is your leader right now. Jeff Crosby Jr. The 027 is Steve Corsick. The 19 is Zach Workman. Looks like that is the 47 of Richard Kuhn on that inside line. Hunter Reynolds in the 26, the 12 of Zach Fritch. 24 of Everett Lane. We're coming up on another lap traffic. That is the 48. And we're going to have a wreck here, folks. That is going to bring out our caution. I believe that was our first wreck. As you can see, that got Hunter Reynolds bent out of shape. Several cars. Jeff Crosby Jr. involved. The 59 of John Guerrero. Zach Fritch. Carolot, I don't know if you're actually in the wrong chat. Oh, Kenny, sorry about that, buddy. Shal Bakara is going to be your leader. Zach Fritch in second. Steve Korosek in third. Vicente Guerrero in fourth. And Zach Workman rounding out your top 5. Well, glad you could at least tune in, Kenny. I don't know if you had to work late or what. All right, Carolot, you're done. I don't know what you're doing or who you're talking to, but you are not making any sense. So, yes, sir, it does. We all know that. Thank you, Mara. I see you out there doing work. I think they do, Kenny. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what Carolot was talking about, or I have no idea. That was just kind of weird. Yeah, I think you were right there. Looking back at our standings, you were actually right there in third. But yeah, you were right there. If it was to end today and we were in the playoffs, you would be in the playoffs without a win. Yeah, so y'all help me out there in chat, wishing Braden or congratulating Braden on graduating college this month. I believe you said was it next Friday or this Friday that you were doing your graduation? Yeah, Kitty, there's still a lot of racing left, buddy. I mean, this is just the third race of the season, so there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of racing left, bud. And believe it or not, I've been on iRacing for about a year and a half now, and I've only got one win, and that was on Wednesday night OP. And it wasn't even televised. That's the bad thing about it. Get my first win, wasn't even televised. Oh yeah, I got faith in you, Kenny. But yeah, if you folks would in chat, let's give a shout out to Braden there, Kyle, for graduating college for me. He's been an avid viewer of MaxspeedTV as we are getting ready to start back green flag racing here, folks. Lap 47 of 100. We get started back. Like I said, we had some issues with my overlay, but it seems to worked itself out as we see Stephen Luttrell going down to the apron. John Guerrero getting pushed up to that high side by himself. That is the 3 of Alex Green. Right below him, the 071 of Eric Flory coming up. That's no doubt. Like I said, Kenny, this track, I hate driving this track. Whoa, easy. That is Brian Wayne getting loose. Now we're going to be collected Jeff Crosby Jr. and Jeff Crosby Sr., John Guerrero, David Overstreet getting a piece of that. Dustin Logston, Eric Laurie. That is Steve Rodda, Dave Hunt. All getting collected up on that. So we go to our MaxspeedTV replay. Going to get up here to where this was at. We see Brian Wayne gets loose. Let me find out where he is at. We'll get on Brian and go on a chase view here. It looks like he might have gotten a shot there by the 15. That is Jeff Crosby Sr. Gets him a little bit off of center and then right up into the front of John Guerrero. Thought he was going to save it. It looks like he had it. Lost some speed. Comes back down and then right back into Jeff Crosby Sr. once again. Net speed out there. And then Jeff Crosby Jr. getting caught up. John Guerrero. Dustin Logston. Alex Green getting a piece of it. David Overstreet barely missing that. Rick Sanchez getting a piece of that as well as the 17 of, I believe that was Jimmy Reynolds. $16 of Nate Warren cutting the grass. Guys are using up their fast repairs tonight for sure. Bubba. Fortunately, Bubba looks like he's taking his truck behind the wall. Tuning in out there in chat. Well, right now, Steve Korosek is showing your leader. David Overstreet in second. Andy Brigante third. Zach Workman fourth. And Nate Warren fifth. Everett Lane sixth. Sean McCarr seventh. Vicente Guerrero in eighth. Mark Mann ninth. Josh Ball rounding out your top 10. And then 11 through 20 is McNeese, Schramm Sr., Jeff Crosby Sr., Alex Green, Brian Wayne, Jimmy Reynolds, Sean Stevens, Zach Fritsch, Gabe Butler, and Eric Laurie. Dustin Logston on pit road, Richard Kuhn on pit road, Hunter Reynolds coming off of pit road. Rick Sanchez back out on the track, or he stayed out on the track, so apparently he didn't get any damage. Oh, I hate that for you, Bubba. Now some of these lap cars are getting their laps back. Lights on the pace truck are out. You know, Bubba, you could have always jumped up in the booth with me, buddy. Well, guys, we are at lap 52. I believe Bubba, when will be the stage end of stage 2? Is it lap 62, 63? Oh, lap 50, so it already went by, so unfortunately we missed it again. I've got to get with these guys to make sure I get my lap counts done. 25 and 50, okay. Well, here we go, folks. Green flag back out once again. Steve Korosek is your leader. David Overstreet right down his outside in second. There is Andy Brigante, Zach Workman, Nate Warren, the 71 of Sean McCarr, the 14 of Vicente Guerrero, and the 04 of Mark Mann. These guys are rounding it down. We are lap 53 of 100. They come through the tri-oval. Into turns 1 and 2, David Overstreet on the outside. Thought about dropping it down to the inside line, but decided to stay up here in front of the 19 of Zach Workman. We see these guys going into turns 1 and 2. I believe they are 3 and 4. Coming through the tri-oval. Back to the start finish line once again. Lap 55 underway. We'll have to get that drone cam switched around. As they come down the backstretch, Andy Brigante on the inside. But there goes the 27 of Steve Korosek back down to the bottom. Got Andy Brigante right behind him, and then Nate Warren's, Vicente Guerrero, 84 Lynn McNeese, 36 of Stephen Luttrell. Then on the outside you have the 46 of David Overstreet. It's getting a little bit loose there. The 19 of Zach Workman, the 71 of Sean McCarr, the 04 of Mark Mann, and the number 1 of Josh Ball. The 59 of John Guerrera, and of course Bubba Whittingham out there in chat. We come down the back stretch once again here, folks, coming into turns 3 and 4. 27, Steve Korosek on the inside with Andy Brigante. On the outside is David Overstreet. Now Korosek goes to the outside in front of David Overstreet. That's going to close the door and allow Andy Brigante and Nate Warren to get a run down on the bottom. Here comes the 14 of Vicente Guerrero, going to keep that tight right there, so nobody can jump down in front of him and Nate. Well, you can just see those trucks bouncing on this old bumpy track. Everybody else single file all the way up here to looks like the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds. Does have the 26 of Hunter Reynolds right behind it. Gabe Butler going to try to find a hole. It looks like he's going to stay in that second lane. Ooh, gets a little bump on the 62 of Les Levy. Now Gabe Butler looking on the outside. Gonna make it 3 wide. Decided to drop it back down into that second lane. Good battle up here though between Steve Korsek and David Overstreet. Got a couple of good pushers behind them, so they're gonna try to get them pushed out to the front. John joining us out there in chat. John, sorry your night ended early, brother. Well, here we go. Gabe Butler making a move to that third line. Got the 05 of Brian Wang right there with him. Now David Overstreet moving to that third line as well. Gabe Butler dropping back down to that second lane, kind of leaving David Overstreet out there hanging out to dry. Now David dropping it down to that second line, but back up to the front. Steve Korsek to the outside with Zach Workman, Sean McCara, Andy Brigante, Nate Warren as Steve drops it down in front of Andy. Your eyeballs are oh man. Yeah, and I've had the worst luck at this track. Every time I've ran this track, it always seems that I get caught up and stuff. And, I probably caused a few things myself just because this track is so hard for me to navigate and to control my car. And I'm running good equipment. I'm running a good force feedback wheel. It's just, oh man, big wiggle there by Steve Korsek. Oh, David Overstreet up into the wall. That's going to bring out a caution, but that collects a lot of trucks. Some of these guys don't have fast repairs left. We're going to stop it right there. We're going to rewind this a little bit because it happened right up front. It looks like Brian Wang, as we're on him, we see, that is Lynn McNeese. Like maybe a bad push from Stephen Luttrell. Then Brian Wang looks like he got tagged from the back, got into Alex Green, up into the wall. Everett Lane going to get a piece of that net code. But then you got Dude Conrad, Jimmy Reynolds, Eric Laurie, Les Levy, Sean Stevens, Rick Sanchez, 42 of Peter DeBorja, somehow sliding by. It doesn't look like Rick's got a lot of damage. I think he was able to get it shut down. Adam Kilday down on the grass right there. Well, right now, Zach Workman's going to be your leader. Steve Korsek in second, Sean McCarr in third, Andy Brigante fourth. Josh Ball in fifth. Now Steve Korsek, Zach Workman, everybody coming down pit road. Sean McCara, Andy Brigante, Josh Ball, Nate Warren, Zach Rich, Vicente Guerrero, Gabe Butler, Everett Lane, Adam Strom, Eric Laurie. Pretty much the whole field, folks, coming down on this caution. I don't think Rick's got a lot of damage. We'll go to his car here just a second. We'll take a look. He is down on pit road. Let's get on a chase view. We'll see if he's got any damage. Don't look like he's got a lot of damage, if any at all. There he goes. So he was, I think he had it locked down to avoid it and just kind of spun out. So Rick is back out on the track. Jeff Crosby Jr. down on pit road, as well as Dustin, Logston, Richard Kuhn, Hunter Reynolds, Dave Hunt, Jimmy Reynolds, and Jeff Crosby Sr. Now Brian Wang down on pit road, as well as Alex Green. Now Jeff Crosby Sr. is coming back out, as well as Richard Kuhn. And I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Well, the lights on the pace truck are out, folks. Should be diving off down to the safety. Oh, nope, they're back on. So it looked like they were out for a second. Well, guys, I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Got 21 viewers out there right now. If you haven't hit that like button, folks, please hit that like button for me. I would greatly appreciate that. Of course, I didn't see Anthony in here tonight, so hopefully he is doing well. Probably needed a night off, get himself rested up. Of course, it was good to see him back on the track last night and Saturday night. Unfortunately, had a funeral to go to Saturday, and just emotionally I wasn't there emotionally to be able to call a race. So I do apologize again to everybody for not broadcasting Saturday night. It was a pretty rough one for me. Very, very special lady. I've known her my entire life, and always called her mom, so she was just like a second mom to me. And just a great lady. Lived a full life, but it's just a very, very special lady to me and my family. Her and my mom had been friends for so many years, and then my mom became her caretaker, and right there towards the end, and I know it took a toll on my mom as well. But I do appreciate everybody's thoughts and prayers on our loss of this great woman. But we got some racing to call here, folks, as we come around the tri-oval. The pace truck will dive off down to the safety of pit road once again. We are at, let me get my counter up here. Green flag back out racing here, folks. Lap 65, 67, or 66 here as we get started back. I seen that glare out of the corner of my eye. I'm trying to get my little event viewer caught back up here as the one of Josh Ball drops it down to that low line in front of the 19 of Zach Workman. Zach Workman. The 027 of Steven Corsick on that outside line with the 24 of Everett Lane. Right there with him, the 04 of Mark Mann. Mark Mann up into that 5th spot. Josh Ball, Zach Workman, Nate Warren, Gabe Butler, and Zach Fritsch down on that inside line. Steve Korosek, Everett Lane, Mark Mann. I believe that is the 71 of Sean McCara, the 48 of Andrew Schroeder, and the 15 of Jeff Crosby Sr. on that outside line. A lot of wiggling and weaving going on out there on the track. Brian Wayne still down on pit road. Stephen Luttrell's 2 laps down. Alex Green 2 laps down. It looks like Adam Kilday maybe a lap or 2 down now as well. Here we go, winding it down, lap 67 as they're coming through the tri-oval. Zach Workman, now your leader. Slide up to that second lane in front of the 027 of Steve Korosek. He drops it back down in front of the 16 of Nate Warren. A little strategy going on there. Get the run, move up, get the run, move down. Keeps them other guys in check. As we back here, we see the 03. That is Steve Rada. Kind of going back and forth. Well, here comes the number 3 of Alex Green on the outside. And then the 83 of Doug Johnson. Now Les Levy, Dude Conrad, Adam Kilday, Alex Green, Stephen Luttrell. All are a lap down. Getting back up to the front here. Zach Workman still your leader. Steve Korosek on the outside. And Steve getting a good run there, getting a good push by the 24 of Everett Lane, but not enough to get a lap led just yet. I think he actually has led some laps. Let's take a look at our weather here real quick. We are at a 4-mile-an-hour wind, 85-degree air temp, and a 73-degree track temp. Not much really changed. So Steve Rada is a lap down. Les Levy's a lap down. Dude Conrad is a lap down. Adam Kilday a lap down. Alex Green 2 laps, and Stephen Luttrell 2 laps down. Alex Green looking to the outside. He is lap down traffic, but he's trying to get his laps back the hard ways. He's getting a pretty decent run, but just not enough with no help. Well, David Overstreet is going to give him a little help here. Going to try to get him pushed back up towards the front on that 3rd lane. Big, huge bump. You see those big bumps. Them trucks just bouncing. Ooh, big door there from Everett Lane down into Nate Warren. Both of them able to save it as Alex Green. Now we're turning back behind them. That is David Overstreet. Now it's going to collect all kinds of trucks. The 47, the 85, the 1, the 5. The 14, 071 able to make it through. Sean Stevens able to make it through. Jeff Crosby Jr. Dave Hunt, he is smoking. Dude Conrad, David Overstreet. Let's go here, and we are going to take a look at this last crash. As we see it happening, that's David Overstreet getting turned around up front, sliding along the wall, and then other trucks just nowhere for them to go. There's the 42 of Peter DeBorja getting around. The 85 of Adam Kilday, the 5 of Rick Sanchez getting up into the wall. So you see the 1 of Josh Ball going backwards on the track. It looks like several of them was able to get it shut down in time. It's 36 of, that is Stephen Luttrell pushing Dave Hunt. Try to get him back to pit road. Got to be careful though not to turn him under caution. We're kind of looking here to see. I don't know if Dave Hunt has any fast repairs left, but he did make it to his pit box. So we're watching. He did have a fast repair. Vicente Guerrero's down on pit road. Our pole sitter for tonight, as Jimmy Reynolds is coming off of pit road. Dustin Logston on pit road. Richard Kuhn, Hunter Reynolds, Steve Rada, David Overstreet, Lynn McNeese. Steve Rada coming off of pit road. Kind of keeping an eye on these guys right here. That's Adam Kilday, Dustin Logston, Lynn McNeese is coming off of pit road. So is Mr. David Overstreet. So Adam Kilday is coming off of pit road now, as well as Dustin Logston. Here comes Vicente Guerrero, Les Levy down on pit road, Dude Conrad, everybody else coming down pit road. To see what's going to happen here, folks, we are lap 75. We are counting them down, about 26 laps to go to the end of the race. Again, folks, we got 22 viewers, only 6 likes. Please, if you guys would, if you haven't, go ahead and hit that like button for me. Also, if you're new to MaxspeedTV, be sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, that bell icon. That way you get notified every time we do go live. Now, we won't have any other broadcasts after tonight until Saturday, where we will be back with the OP guys. I believe they are going to be Let me see. We will be at Daytona at New Daytona. So that will be next Saturday, June the 7th. Live right here on MaxspeedTV. So join us Saturday night. Xfinity cars for the Saturday Night Unlimited, Buttkicker Unlimited Series, I should say. Well, we are watching our flag man with the green flag up in the air. If he likes what he sees, then we will go back green, and there we go. Back green flag racing once again. Steve Korsak, your leader. Nate Warren. Got Steve Korsak and Mark Mann on that outside. Now you got Nate Warren, Everett Lane, Zach Fritch, Zach Workman, all down on that inside line. But here comes the 71. That is Sean McCara, going to try to get caught up with Mark Mann. We still see a lot of movement side to side. A 48, Andrew Schroeder dropping down below the apron, but coming back up. Need to be careful about that because it will get slick down there, even with the cooler temperatures with all the marbles and stuff. Well, here comes Dave Hunt trying to shoot the gap up the middle. Right there with the 3 of Alex Green. Back up to the front, Steve Korsak on the inside. Mark Mann on the outside with the 71 of Sean McCara. Sean needs to close it up just a little bit with Mark and make those trucks a little bit faster. Alex Green still out on that outside line, 3 wide. Dave Hunt, Rick Sanchez on the inside. Dave Hunt in the middle. Still a good battle up front. Mark Mann trying to get up to the front. Jeff Crosby Sr. and looks like that is the 071 of Eric Morey. On that outside with the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr. as well on that outside line. But here we go, 3 wide back here. As we are wrecking, that's Everett Lane, Jeff Crosby Sr., Dave Hunt. Let me see if I can get on. We are on Dave Hunt here. We see that happening. That is Eric, or not Eric, but that is Everett Lane and Jeff Crosby Sr. getting tied up right there. Dave Hunt getting around it. Rick Sanchez getting a piece of it. Guys going down into the grass. Dustin Logston just getting tagged there. Those guys are spinning around. Vicente Guerrero, Steve on the trail, Steve Rada. Hunter Reynolds somehow made it through. I believe that was the 84 of Lynn McNeese getting a piece of that as well. Well, these guys will be coming down pit road as we are at lap 79. Now, John and Bubba, how many laps can you go on the fuel percentages tonight? I think we are at 45% fuel, I think is what I was told, but I could be wrong. I know these trucks don't get really good laps per tank. Around 20 laps, okay. So I noticed a lot of guys were pitting after about 12 laps. I'm assuming that was just maybe a team pit strategy or something, trying to plan it right, is what I was thinking. Well, somehow it's got Jeff Crosby Sr. in the lead, but he is down on pit road. There is the one of Josh Ball, but Jeff Crosby Sr. down on pit road, so I'm not sure. And it has him in that first spot, but right now Josh Ball's in second, Steve Korsek's third, Mark Mann fourth, and Nate Warren in fifth. There's the three of Alex Green is right there, but he is a few laps down. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm live. All right, so now we're getting everything back situated. Josh Ball will be your leader. Steve Korsek in second. Mark Mann third. Nate Warren fourth. Zach Fritch fifth. Jeff Crosby Jr. in sixth. Sean McCarr seventh. Eric Laurie in eighth. Zach Workman Knight and Adam Schramm rounding out your top 10. Rick Sanchez still out there on the track. I know Belva and them and Netsby is all rooting for Rick. I got you. So we see these guys coming through turns 3 and 4. You see the lights on the pace truck are out. All right, flagman's got the green flag in his hand. That is spread the flagman. Going to get these guys started. Lap 81. We will be at 19 to go. Green flag back out on the loud pedal once again. Here we go, folks. We are 19 to go. Hopefully these guys put on a good finish here. Run this last bit out under green flag conditions. Josh Ball, Steve Korsek, Mark Mann, Nate Warren, Zach Fritz, your top 5. Already got a car looking to the outside. Nobody going to go with him, so he's going to go right back in line. That is the 87 of Adam Schramm. Josh Ball, Mark Mann, Zach Fritch. Looks like the 71 of Sean McCara, the 19 of Zach Workman, the 83 of Doug Johnson. That is the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Looks like the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds right behind him, all on that inside line. Of course, the 27, 027, Steve Corson. That is the 16 of Nate Warren, Jeff Crosby Jr., Eric Laurie. The 87 of Adam Schramm. The 5 of Rick Sanchez. The 13 of Andy Brigante. The 88 of Gabe Butler. The 53 of Dave Hunt. The 14 of Vicente Guerrero. That is the 03 of Steve Rada. And that is the, looks like the 3 of Alex Green on that outside line. We are 3 wide. Vicente Guerrero out on that 3rd lane by himself. He is going to lose a spot or 2. He is getting a run on that outside though. There goes the 5 of Rick Sanchez up in front of the 14. 14's going to give him a good shove up towards the front. Sorry guys, I had to clear my throat there. Well, here comes Rick Sanchez and the 14 of Vicente Guerrero making that run on that 3rd line. Going to try to get pushed out in front of the leaders. But we are 3 wide. Josh Ball on the inside. That is a Steve Korsek on the middle. And then Rick Sanchez on the outside. 2nd row is Mark Mann, Nate Warren, and the 14 of Vicente Guerrero. Vicente right on the bumper of Rick Sanchez, getting close to the 027 of Steve Korsek. So we are 15 laps to go. Here comes the 03 of Steve Rada. Going to try to help those other guys get up to the front, but the pack's kind of tightening up again. That's going to make it tough for that outside line to really get anything going. Sanchez getting a good run off of that corner exit into the tri-oval. Now we're into turns 1 and 2. As we come down the back stretch, we are still 3 wide, 3 rows deep. Jeff Crosby Jr. coming down to the inside. Steve Rada going to the middle. That's going to leave Vicente Guerrero and Rick Sanchez out there by themselves. But Rick and Vicente getting a good run on that corner exit. 027 drops it down to the inside. That's going to slow that inside down. Josh Ball gives him a shove. Vicente dropping it down in front of Steve Rada. Going to get around Rick Sanchez. Close door to door. Here we go. Guys coming down pit road for one last time. That's Mark Mann, Zach Fritch, Jeff Crosby Jr., Zach Workman, Sean McCara, Hunter Reynolds, Gabe Butler, Les Levy, Jimmy Reynolds, Sean Stevens. All coming down pit road. Korsek is going to be your leader. Nate Warren in 2nd. Josh Ball in 3rd. They are in 3 and 4. We're going to see who is going to pit or if they're going to stay out. We are 13 to go. Here comes Steve Korsek, Josh Ball, Vicente Guerrero, Eric Laurie, Adam Schramm, Andy Brigante, Dave Hunt, Lynn McNeese, and Dustin Logston all down on pit road. But Nate Warren's going to stay out with Steve Rada and Rick Sanchez, Doug Johnson, Richard Kuhn, the three of Alex Green back on the lead lap, as well as Adam Kilday and Dude Conrad, I believe. Nope, they are still a lap down. But here comes Nate Warren, Steve Rada, Rick Sanchez, Doug Johnson, and Richard Kuhn. Adam Kilday coming down with them. So is Alex Green. Andrew Schroeder. Let's look at looks like Andrew has been out here for 9 laps. If I'm reading that right, I need to get with those guys and make sure that I'm reading my graphics right. Well, right now, Andrew Schroeder is your leader. He's got about a second gap on Everett, but Everett in the second and a half, but Everett and David Overstreet are gaining ground. Zach Workman, Zach Fritz, this next group are about, well, they're gaining time. They're about 6.5 seconds behind David Overstreet and Everett Lane, but they are going to catch up with Andrew. Hopefully get him in the draft with them. As Everett does go around him, so does David Overstreet. Andrew's going to get in their draft and hopefully stay up with them and gain some time on Zach Workman. But this group here, big group, Zach Workman, Zach Fritch, Gabe Butler, Hunter Reynolds, Sean Laurie, Sean McCara, or I'm sorry, Eric Laurie, Sean McCara, Lynn McNeese, Vicente Guerrero, Josh Ball, Jeff Crosby Jr., Steve Korosek, Nate Warren, and Adam Schramm. They are all together making ground about three seconds behind Andrew. But they are closing that gap quick, down to about 2.5 seconds now. Rick Sanchez just came down pit road. I believe he is leaving pit road now. But Everett Lane, your leader. David Overstreet second. Andrew Schroeder third. Well, here comes that big group of Zach Workman, Gabe Butler, Zach Fritch. All coming around turns 1 and 2. Now have cut it down to about 1/2 second. Now we're going to figure out what they don't have to give up their spots. They're going to make them earn it. We take it 3 wide. Eric Laurie dropping it down. Oh, we're going to have Nate Warren. Good save by David Overstreet. Him and Nate Warren getting in each other. Everett Lane coming down pit road now, as well as David Overstreet. Could have been bad, but what a great save by Nate Warren. And look at the damage on. Wow. That is a lot of damage on Everett Lane's truck. Here we go. Oh, Vicente Guerrero upside down. Hard into the inside barrier walls. Not seeing a caution just yet. No caution come out. We are 7 laps to go. Be 6 laps to go now. Gabe Butler, your leader. Zach Pritchett second. Zach Workman third. Hunter Reynolds fourth. Eric Laurie fifth. Sean McCarr sixth. Lynn McNeese seventh. Josh Ball at 8, Jeff Crosby Jr. 9th, and Nate Warren rounding out your top 10. That was crazy. I'm really shocked that no caution came out as Gabe Butler makes an aggressive move to that outside line. Here comes the 19 of Zach Workman on the inside with the 71 of Eric Laurie. Jeff Crosby Sr. is on that outside 3 wide as they're trying to get around him. He is lapped down traffic. Hard into that outside wall by Jeff Crosby Sr. It is 9:17 Central Standard Time. Last 10 laps are iRace. Okay, I thought it was 5, Bubba. Thank you for clarifying that. And Bubba, if you know who the stage 2 winner was, I totally missed it because I think it ended under caution as well. But here we go, 3 wide. Gabe Butler around. This is going to be a big one. Taking out a lot of trucks. Wow. As we see, we are rooftop with Jeff Crosby Sr. And we see all the carnage up ahead. Now we're Andy Brigante, Gabe Butler on his lid. The 16 of Nate Warren. The 62 of Les Levy getting turned. Jimmy Reynolds involved. Everett Lane involved. Andy Brigante, Josh Ball, Adam Schramm, Nate Warren, Sean McCara, Dustin Logston, we see the 12 of Zach Fritch spun around. Well, Zach Workman's going to be your leader right now. Steve Korosek is going to be in a second. Jeff Crosby Jr. third. Richard Kuhn in fourth. Les Levy in fifth. Adam Schramm in sixth. Andy Brigante seventh. Josh Ball in eighth. Hunter Reynolds ninth. And Steve Rada rounding out your top 10. We got some guys, Steve Korosek, Josh Ball, all coming down pit road. Of course, Josh is missing half of his right front fender, or right front side. It looked like David Overstreet was getting the wave around to get his, or Lucky Dog to get his lap back. Well, folks, this will be our first GWC attempt. Looking at our top 5, Zach Workman, Jeff Crosby Jr., Adam Schramm, Richard Kuhn, and the 62 of Les Levy. Vicente Guerrero may be done for the night, as well as Josh Ball, Zach Fritch as well. Nope. It looks like Vicente Guerrero coming off of pit road. Again, I'm glad everybody tuned in tonight. Of course, all of the guys, everybody out there, guys and girls out there in chat, ladies and gentlemen, Bubba Winningham, NetSpeed, John Guerrera, Braden Kaus, Belva, John Black was out there, Brendan Kennedy, Kenny Real, of course, NetSpeed was out there as well. Let's see, Marriage tuned in for a little bit. Let's see. Make sure I ain't missing anybody, folks. Everett Baker tuning in. Hey, Dwayne, how are you doing, buddy? Glad you tuned in. We are wrapping this up. We are in overtime. Well, I appreciate it, guys. I really do. We have got some good fans here on MaxspeedTV to tune in and week out. Of course, I'm just doing the best I can to keep us going until Joshua is ready to come back and start broadcasting again. And hopefully that's going to be here pretty soon. Are getting ready to start our first GWC attempt. They need to make it back around to the white flag, and then at that point, whatever happens, happens. Green flag back out. Here we go, folks. GWC attempt number 1, so we got 2 laps to go. Got to make it back around one time to get to the white flag. There's the 19 of Zach Workman is your leader. Jeff Crosby Jr. to his outside. On that inside, you've got Adam Schramm. That is the 62 of Les Levy. It looks like I see the 03 of Steve Rada. On the outside, ooh, we got somebody blinking out. That's the 27 of Sean Stevens. Here comes, big bump there. Richard Kuhn going up high, getting into the 13 as we are wrecking again behind them. That's going to bring out our caution. That happened right up here. I want to say that was on the 47. Doug Johnson on that middle line. The 03 of Steve Rada comes up. Andy coming down. Looks like maybe a little bit of net code right there. Looks like it might have got Doug a little bit loose. But then Gabe Butler up towards the front. or Jeff Crosby Jr. We are back live, so, well, this will be GWC attempt number 2. So if they can't make it around to the white flag and there's another caution, that will end the race. And then whoever's in the top 3 at the time the caution comes out will be your podium finishers tonight. Looks like we had some cars opted to stay out. Adam Schramm, Les Levy, Richard Kuhn, Steve Rada, and Dustin Logston, Gabe Butler, Dave Hunt, Hunter Reynolds, Sean McCarr, Jimmy Reynolds, rounding out your top 10. Of course, I got to give a shout out to Bubba and John and Kenny, 3 of our drivers here on OP Monday night, jumping into chat, interacting with our fans and with me. So appreciate you guys. You know, your race didn't quite go as good as you wanted it to, but guys, I really do appreciate you tuning in, and of course, you know, any of our fans can talk to these guys, and they will answer any questions you have, I'm sure. They always enjoy going back and watching the replays, but I know our fans are some of the greatest fans out there, and our drivers are just the same. Some of the greatest drivers in iRacing, a great iRacing community with OP. So do appreciate those guys coming into the chat and visiting with me and our fans here. Well, here we go. We get to the start-finish line. Lights on the pace truck, I should say, will go out. They will line up side by side. Adam Schramm, Les Levy, Steve Rada, Richard Kuhn, Dustin Logston, your top 5. Gabe Butler in that 6th spot. Yep. Les Levy, Dave Hunt, all part of the Team CFM, along with Bubba and David, and the 84 of Lennon McNeese. Dave Hunt currently in that 8th spot, 7th spot. Looks like we got a truck trying to make his way back to the field as we are entering turns 3 and 4 here, folks. Good drone cam here of turns 3 and 4. We'll see the pace truck dive off down to pit road once again. Be for the last time, because if the caution comes out, well, that's going to end the race, and then the top 3 will be it at the time of the caution. So here we go. Green flag back out. GWC attempt number 2. Back on the loud pedal. Who's it going to be? Adam Schramm out front right now. Got Richard Coon right behind him in the 47 machine. The 81 of Dustin Logston right there, as well as Dave Hunt. Les Levy on the outside with Steve Broada, the 88 of Gabe Butler, and the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Up, here we go, one down. Nope, there goes the 62. Well, that's going to do it, folks. Your top three, looks like it's going to be Hunter Reynolds, Gabe Butler, and Dustin Logston. We're going to go back here. When the caution came out, I'm going to have to get with our admins on this. To see how they're going to score the winners at the time of the caution. As we watch the carnage unfold. So hang tight, guys. Let me get with them, and we will get our top three for the post-race interview. All right, folks. Well, we have been told that this right here is going to be your top three. Gabe Butler will be your winner. Dustin Logston second, and Hunter Reynolds in third. So we're going to step aside. We will get our top three up here for the post-race interview. Hang tight. I will be right back. Well, fellas, not the finish everybody wanted, but it's a finish, right?
Brutal.
Brutal.
Just kidding.
Oh, no.
Like that.
Yeah, but it is what it is, man. I mean, it's just guys are racing hard, so.
Yeah.
But, all right, guys. Well, Hunter, we're going to start with you, and then we'll work our way up to you, Gabe.
All right.
All righty, folks. We have caught up with our top three. We're going to bring our third place finisher into the broadcast booth. Hunter Reynolds finishing third. Like I said to you guys just a minute ago, not quite the finish you guys want to have, but a finish is a finish. You got that third place spot. Man, let's just talk. I mean, Bumpy Daytona. I mean, guys just have a hard time controlling vehicles here. I know I do.
Yeah, man, I like this track, actually. This is one of my favorites. I like the fact that it's a challenge, and you really got to hang on to the truck and, kind of work it, and it's just more of a challenge. Yeah, some guys having trouble with it, so it's just something to navigate whenever you come here. Guys are going to be squirrely, and you got to plan when your moves are. But yeah, honestly, an up and down race for me. Didn't have a great qualifying effort, and then worked my way to the front. Got wrecked. I got about an undisclosed number of minutes repaired on my truck, and I had to use a fast repair there at the end too. But got back up there, and yeah, I'd love to raced it out. That would have been cool. But you know what? Hey, my teammate Gabe got the win, and I got third, so I guess we'll take it.
Well, overall, good points night for you and for your team because they do have a team championship in this league because it is a team league. So it's always nice to have, your teammates finishing up on the podium and up in the top 10, especially for those points. But overall, it's going to be a good points night for you guys. I believe y'all are are y'all under?
Buttkicker.
Yep. So that's what I was looking for. I was going to get your team name up there. But yeah, so good finish by you guys. Looking back at some of the incidents, some of the stuff just kind of looked like bad pushes. It looked like they was trying to getting them pushed and then all of a sudden getting them off center.
Yep, and most of those were, I think. These trucks you can push really hard, but they get hot really quickly, and especially here around Daytona when it's nice and warm outside. I guess maybe not so much night, but yeah, you can push really hard on the trucks. They get hot quick, and when you get tight racing and dudes just pushing too hard, getting over the bumps. And you really got to be careful because, the truck in front of you is not going to hold a perfect line here at 08. So, yeah, just got to be more careful and mindful. Just kind of what's going on. But if you can stay out of those wrecks, man, you're going to have a good night.
Absolutely. Well, awesome job, buddy. Congratulations. Getting the podium, getting those points. And, we got next week coming up. I think we're at Talladega. I'm trying to look for the schedule here. But, yeah, I think we're at Talladega next week. I could be wrong, but got that coming up. What do you got to do to carry this momentum forward, man?
To be honest, I don't know. I'm lucky to be here in the first place. I think this is my first. I know this is my first top 5 of the season, but maybe top 10 too. I don't know, man. Just get lucky at the end of these things, man. You could be running up front, running in the back. You still might get in the wreck. So I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Just work with your teammates and try to stay out front, right?
Yeah, that's all you can do. That's all I try to do. So.
All right, buddy. Well, I'm going to turn the mic over to you, Hunter. Any final thoughts, shout-outs, thanks you want to give before you go celebrate, bud?
Yeah, good job to the team tonight. Great job, Gabe, on the win. Thanks to all the admins for helping running this thing. Appreciate you up in the booth. Do a great job. And thanks, everybody watching. We appreciate you.
All right, brother. Well, congratulations. Go celebrate. We'll get you back down to your team down there, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, that's going to bring us to our second place finisher. We'll get his graphic up here. That is going to be, well, the guy that I have been giving a lot of credit to for helping me with our overlay here with SDK, Mr. Dustin Logston. Man, with the team Nerditudes, getting a P2 spot. Again, like I said, it's not the finish you guys wanted, but it's the finish we got. But, man, you kind of got into quite a bit of stuff there. Not necessarily your fault, but, man, it was pretty rough.
Yeah. This track is not high on my favorites list. But I'll take a second place here somehow. Surviving to the end. Yeah, we were in all the wrong places at all the right times, I guess. Almost had a blowover, almost flipped it, brought it back down, saved it from going over. 4.5 minutes worth of damage, repaired it, saved the fast repair to the last bit there. I don't know who it was. Somebody drifted up there in the tri-oval and slammed me straight to the outside wall, right close to green flag pit stops, and brought it down to use the fastie there. And I don't know what, I don't even know what happened on that last lap, man. I know my teammate, my Nerd Esports teammate, Richard Kuhn got out of sorts there, and he had a hell of a save, and then stuff happened in front of us, and I just stayed in the loud pedal and just drove through and thought I almost had my first Monday Premier Series victory. I knew it was close between Gabe and myself, and Black Box told me to get behind the 88, so I had to listen to iRacing.
Oh, wow.
If I was going to lose it to anybody, though, I mean, Gabe is definitely one of them on there that I've got no qualms finishing runner-up to.
Well, man, I mean, it's a good points night for you. Good points night, with you coming in second for your team. I think we're at Talladega next week. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't have the schedule pulled up. But, you got to carry what momentum you can through. I'm sure you guys, not to divulge any team information, but I'm sure you guys will probably have a team meeting before the race to figure out strategy. What do you got to do to just, like I asked Hunter, I mean, I know it's the ending of the race wasn't very momentum-like, but, you coming in P2, you got to have some momentum going into the next race.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know what the next track is either. We've had the holiday for Memorial Day off, and I haven't kept up on what the next track is. But I mean, if it is Talladega, that's probably my strongest track over here at OP. It's the only track that obviously I can win at OP because that's where all my victories come at. So it's my favorite track. It's good to have momentum coming off of Bumpy Daytona here, which is not high on my list. It ranks down there right with the newfangled Atlanta, which I'm not a fan of either. But having good momentum and a good finish here going into Talladega definitely kind of makes things a little bit better. Having a good finish too. We had 2 nerdy sports cars in the top 5. Richard Kuhn finished 5th, so that was a good showing. And prior to all the last lap shenanigans that took place, we actually had 3 nerdy sports cars in the top 5. So it was definitely a really good showing for the team. We had a lot of good teamwork that was going on, behind the scenes strategy and everything else. And this track's rough. It's really rough on many levels.
Many levels, yeah.
With the bump. But it's a rough one for sure. So to survive this race here was definitely a plus in my book.
Well, like I said, I've been giving you guys, you and Peter, a lot of credit for getting me started with the SDK, the Nerditude partnership that we've got into with you guys. Got a lot of compliments on our graphics. You guys do an amazing job, and that Candy Apple Green 81 machine was pretty strong tonight. Again, finishing P2 is not nothing to hang your head about, even though it wasn't on a green flag finish. But hey, it is what it is. So. But again, big shout out to you, Dustin. Awesome job, buddy. Any final thoughts, shout outs, thanks you want to give before you go celebrate?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are on this truck. This is a paint scheme. We call it the Color Chrome that Jeremy Stanley from Nerd Raps put together with Extra Life on there. But got to thank Icon Apparel Company, iRacing, iFlag, Buttkicker, Brez Coffee Co., Elite Performance Industries, Dusty Pete's, Oakley, iRock 93.5. Boozy Jerky. I mean, there's a lot of people that we got to thank that take part in this here. Got to thank the admins over here at OP. I know it's a lot of times it's a thankless job, but they try to do the best that they possibly can, and they built something really good over here. So got to thank the admins, everybody that raced with. And like I said, if I had to finish behind somebody, Gabe is one of the drivers that's up there on the list that I could finish runner up to him any day and really not have any qualms about it. So got to thank the drivers, the league sponsors. Got to thank you up in the booth too. Coming from somebody who knows how it is up there in the production side. I know how rough it can be, technology and everything else. So big shout out to you, Steven, and MaxspeedTV. So just happy to be able to actually come down here and actually race as well and not just be in the booth. So big shout out to everybody all the way around.
Well, again, we do appreciate everything. Of course, the issues we had pre-race didn't carry over to the actual race. That may have been something that we were talking about just in the practice portion, but we got it worked out. We got it worked out, and like I said, hats off to you, brother, for getting with me, and awesome job tonight. Congratulations. We're going to get you down into that post-race campfire so y'all can talk about the incident tonight. So congratulations, good job, and we will see you next week, brother.
All right. Thank you, sir. You have a good one.
You too. All right. Well, that's going to bring us to our winner tonight, Mr. Gabe Butler. Again, Gabe, not the finish we wanted, but it's the finish we got.
Hey, man, that took skill.
To avoid everything?
I don't know about avoiding it, but hell, man. Yeah, I hate winning races like that. I really do. But, I mean, it's so dang competitive out here. You got to take what you can get. And I just got lucky. So I ain't giving it back. I'll take it.
That's right. Well, this is the Premier League. This is what I call the creme de la creme of the OP guys. All of these guys on any given night could win a race, and it's always tough to race with some of the, it's tough competition. Most everybody is pretty clean and respectful driving, but this is not an easy track to get the win at. But, man, what do you got to do, or what did you need to do to make sure that you were in a position to take that checker tonight?
Well, I will say that this track tires are super important. So I got in a few incidents during the course of the race, and any chance I got to take 4 tires, I took them. And I think it helped me. I was in the back of the field quite a bit, and I was able to get to the, well, not necessarily straight to the front, but up within the top 10 because I had those tires. You can control your car a lot better, especially this track. And then didn't have a choice at the end there. Hunter and Jimmy were lined up behind me, my teammates, and I said, we're not going to wait. We're going to go right away once we come out of 2 there, and we did, just to kind of, establish position. And then I think it was going to be a good finish, but then all hell broke loose, and I was the lucky one to get the win out of it. And I think Hunter got P3, so good job on his part.
Well, yeah, definitely good points night for you. Got you locked into the playoffs with the win. But also, this is a team league, like I've explained. So team points matter as well. So good team finish for you guys tonight. You had yourself up in the win and had Hunter right there in P3. So that's definitely going to boost your team points. But, I'm pretty sure, and you may or may not know, I think we're at Talladega next week. What do you got to do to carry what momentum you had tonight over to next week?
Well, Talladega is a little bit more forgiving, but, I mean, just because you got a win and locked in, you kind of have to, keep that momentum going because, I mean, if you slack off and even though, you don't need to win or you don't need as many points, you tend to lose your edge a little bit. So, I'd rather just stay competitive and go for the win again at Talladega. And, but like you're saying, it is a team sort of league, and you ain't getting any wins unless your teammates are with you. And the fellas at Buttkicker, we had Dude in tonight, and then we had Hunter and Jimmy and Eric got a good finish. But Dude and Jimmy not so lucky, and again, I'll always say it: you're nothing without your teammates on these super speedways.
Well, yeah, you're looking at the finish, and you had yourself win, Hunter in 3rd, Eric Laurie finished in 7th, so you had 3 cars on your team in the top 10, so that definitely helps. Well, you guys are on the track to get something going here, and I understand what you're saying. You got to be consistent, even though you won a race. Still need to be consistent and compete every night. So, well, man, awesome job. I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic over to you, Gabe, because I know you're probably ready to get out of here as well. Any final thoughts, shout-outs, thanks you want to give before you go celebrate your victory tonight, buddy?
Yeah, big shout out to OP and all the admins. I always like thanking the admins. Like, it's a tough job, it's a thankless job, but they do a great job at it, actually. And of course, the Buttkicker teammates that I just mentioned, and of course OP, the league itself. great league to run in, highly competitive. All the drivers that came out tonight and everybody that was watching your fantastic stream there, Stephen. I'm just looking back at it a little bit. It looks fantastic, and we really appreciate you doing the Monday Night Premiere series here for us. So I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate the kind words. Congratulations again, Gabe. Go celebrate, brother. We will see you next week, and we'll probably see you Saturday, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. We'll be there Saturday.
All right, brother. Go celebrate. We'll talk to you later, man.
See you, brother. Thanks.
All right. We'll send him down there. Well, folks, that's going to bring us to our unofficial results. Of course, this is pending any admin stuff that comes about. We'll get this pulled up here. Maybe. Gabe Butler with Team Buttkicker Esports, your winner tonight. And Dustin Logston with Nerdy Sports coming in second. Hunter Reynolds in third. Another Team Buttkicker Esports truck. Dave Hunt, Checker Flag Motorsports coming in fourth. Richard Kuhn, the Nerdy Sports in fifth. Eric Laurie, Team Buttkicker in sixth. David Overstreet, another Checker Flag Esports or Checker Flag Motorsports driver in seventh. Doug Johnson in eighth with Wicked Race Team, as well as Andy Brigante in ninth. Zach Workman with Fuel Sim Racing in 10th. Lynn McNeese, Checker Flag in 11th. Nate Warren, Fuel Sim Racing in 12th. Steve Rada with Dirty Sports in 13th. Adam Schramm, No Presta Esports in 14th. Zach Fritsch with Fuel Sim Racing in 15th. Les Levy, Checker Flag Motorsports driver in 16th. And then, of course, Jeff Crosby Jr., Sean McCarr, both with Fuel Sim Racing, 17, 18, respectfully. And we get down here to 19th, Jimmy Reynolds, Team Buttkicker. And 20th, Andrew Schroeder, In and Out Esports. That's another one that I didn't see. I believe he is part of Wicked, but it says In and Out Esports. Dude Conrad, Team Buttkicker in 21st. Vicente Guerrero, No Presta in 22nd. Everett Lane, Fast Lane Racing, it says unaffiliated in 23rd. Rick Sanchez, Vendetta in 24th. Peter DeBorja with Dirty Sports in 25th. Mark Mann, Vendetta Motorsports in 26th. Sean Stevens in 27th. Unaffiliated Adam Kilday with Vendetta in 28th. In 29th, Steve Korosek had a great run. Dell Cup Games in 29th. Alex Green in 30th with Vendetta. Jeff Crosby Sr., Dirty Sports in 31st. Josh Ball, No Presta in 32nd, Stephen Luttrell in 33rd with No Presta Esports. Dell Cup Games driver number 30 in 34th is Brian Wang. 35th, John Guerrera with Wicked Race Team. And in 36th, Bubba Whittingham, Checker Flag Motorsports. That is going to round out your field. Of course, these are all unofficial results, pending any admin stuff. But that's going to do it for us tonight here on MaxspeedTV. Glad everybody tuned in for tonight's race and tonight's broadcast. Of course, Bubba out there as looks like David Overstreet coming into the chat for a minute. Dwayne out there coming in. NetSpeed, John Guerrera, Braden Cowles, Belva Peltz, John Black, I know, was out there. Mara showed up for a minute, helping me do some admin stuff. Kenny Real, or some moderator stuff, I should say, with Mara. Let's see, am I missing anybody? Braden Cowles, Everett. I think Everett was out there for a little bit. Everett Baker, of course, being out there. Don't know who the Carolot was, but hey, appreciate you tuning in anyway. Of course, Brendan Kennedy. Let's see. Moose Pie, I believe, was out there for just a second. So definitely appreciate everybody showing up and tuning in tonight. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight here on MaxspeedTV. To appreciate everybody tuning in for the OP guys. Premier League Monday nights. We hope to see you next week. Until then, folks, we will see you Saturday night. So stay safe, have a good night, and we will see you on Saturday.